Welcome to Power in Words, your sanctuary of light in a world that often feels shrouded in the shadows of doubt and hesitation. Here, we do not merely speak, we breathe life into the silence, offering a reservoir of strength for the weary and a compass for the lost. We believe that the right word, delivered at the right moment, possesses the gravitational force to shift the trajectory of a human life. Today, we gather around a singular flame of ancient wisdom, a beacon that has guided travelers through the mists of time for over 2 millennia. It is the voice of Lao Tzu, the venerable sage of the East, whispering a truth so profound that it remains the bedrock of all human achievement. He tells us with the gentle authority of a mountain stream that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take a moment to let those words settle into the marrow of your bones. Do not treat them as a passing greeting. In our modern age, we are obsessed with the destination, with the glittering lights of the finish line and the thunderous applause of the 1,000th mile. We scroll through the highlights of others, seeing only the summit of their mountains, and we forget the grueling, silent climb that took place in the dark. We are paralyzed by the sheer magnitude of our own ambitions. Staring at the vast gap between today and our dreams, we feel the weight of a canyon we can never cross. We see the 1,000 miles and we are crushed by the weight of them. But Lao Tzu invites us to lower our gaze. He asks us to stop staring at the horizon and start looking at our feet. The psychology of the human spirit is a complex landscape, woven with threads of both infinite potential and visceral fear. When we contemplate a massive change, starting a business, healing a broken heart, writing a masterpiece, or reclaiming our health, our minds naturally amplify the difficulty. We see the obstacles, the critics, the exhaustion, and the failures yet to come. This is the 1,000-mile stare, a form of psychological paralysis where the vastness of the future robs us of the power of the present. We wait for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, or a surge of courage that never seems to arrive. We wait because we think the first step must be as grand as the final result. But the truth is much quieter, much more humble, and infinitely more beautiful. The first step is rarely cinematic. It is often small, clumsy, and completely invisible to the world. Imagine, if you will, the birth of a mighty river. It does not begin as a roaring torrent carving through stone. It begins as a single, trembling drop of dew on a leaf, or a hidden seep of water through a crack in a high mountain ridge. That drop has no concept of the ocean. It does not know it will one day carry ships or sustain civilizations. It simply follows the law of its own nature. It moves. It yields to gravity. It takes the only path available to it, the next inch. And in that movement, it finds another drop and then another. Together, they become a trickle, then a stream, and finally a force of nature that can move mountains. Your life is that river. Your dreams are the ocean. And your willingness to take a single, perhaps terrifyingly small step today is the drop that begins the transformation. Consider the writer standing before the white abyss of a blank page. The weight of the book they wish to write, the chapters, the themes, the legacy, is enough to make them put down the pen and walk away. They are intimidated by the 1,000 miles of prose ahead. But a book is not written in a day. It is written one word at a time, one sentence at a time, one heartbeat at a time. The first step is not writing a bestseller. It is simply writing a single sentence, even a bad one. It is the act of showing up. It is the decision to sit in the chair and face the silence. That is the single step. It is the micro victory that signals to the universe that you are no longer a dreamer, but a traveler. The beauty of Lao Tzu's wisdom lies in its focus on the immediate. In the philosophy of the Tao, the way is found in the here and now. When we focus on the 1,000th mile, we are living in a ghost world of what if and someday. We are absent from our own lives. But when we focus on the single step, we are fully alive. We are engaged with the texture of the earth beneath us. There is a profound psychological liberation in giving yourself permission to ignore the rest of the journey for a moment. You do not need to know how you will feel at mile 500. You do not need to know how you will solve the problems of mile 800. You only need the strength to move your foot once. Once you have taken that step, the world changes. You are no longer standing still. Your perspective has shifted, even if only by a few inches. From that new vantage point, the next step becomes visible. We often underestimate the power of the mundane. We think that greatness requires a monumental leap, a sudden burst of lightning. But greatness is merely the accumulation of small, consistent steps taken with intention. It is the athlete who goes for a run when the sky is gray and the air is cold. It is the student who reads one more page when their eyes are heavy. It is the parent who chooses patience in a moment of frustration. These are the single steps that build the character required to survive the 1,000 miles. Because the journey is not just about reaching the destination, it is about who you become along the way. The 1,000 miles are the crucible that burns away the dross of your old self, leaving behind something tempered, resilient, and true. There will be days when the wind is against you. There will be seasons where you feel you have lost your way, where the trail is overgrown with the weeds of disappointment. In those moments, the 1,000 miles will feel like a mockery. You will look back and see how far you've come, and look forward and see how far you have yet to go. And you will want to sit down and let the dust reclaim you. This is where the wisdom of the single step becomes your salvation. When you cannot run, you walk. When you cannot walk, you crawl. When you cannot crawl, you simply lean forward. You do not have to conquer the mountain today. You only have to refuse to stay where you are. Think of the great souls who have shaped our history. Did they know the outcome of their struggles? When a young leader stands up for justice, do they see the statues that will be built in their honor a century later? No. They feel the trembling in their hands. They feel the fear in their gut. But they take the step anyway because they know that to stay still is to die while still breathing. They understand that the act of starting is the most radical act of faith possible. It is a declaration that the future is not a fixed prison, but a landscape that can be shaped by human will. Let us speak of the single step in the context of self-love and healing. For many, the 1,000-mile journey is the path out of trauma, out of depression, or out of the suffocating grip of an addiction. To someone in the depths of despair, the idea of being happy feels like a cruel joke, a destination so far away it might as well be on another planet. If you tell them they must walk 1,000 miles to find peace, they will give up before they begin. But if you tell them to just breathe, if you tell them to just get out of bed and drink a glass of water, if you tell them to just say one kind word to themselves, that is a step. And in that step, there is dignity. There is a flicker of the old fire. It is the smallest possible movement toward the light, and it is more courageous than any battle ever fought on a field of war. We live in a culture of instant. We want the results without the process. We want the 1,000 miles delivered to our door overnight, but the soul cannot be rushed. Growth has its own rhythm, its own season. A tree does not race to the sky. It grows a fraction of an inch every day, pushing its roots deeper into the dark earth even as its branches reach for the sun. The first step of the seed is to break itself open. It is a painful, messy, and silent destruction of what it was, so that it can become what it is meant to be. Do not be afraid of your own breaking. Do not be ashamed of your small beginnings. The seed that refuses to break will never see the forest. As you listen to these words, perhaps you are standing at a threshold. You have a dream that has been gathering dust in the attic of your mind. You have a project that you've been meaning to start for years. You have a conversation you've been avoiding. You have a version of yourself that is screaming to be let out. What is the 1,000-mile journey for you? Is it a career change? A move to a new city? The pursuit of an art form? Whatever it is, I want you to look at the fear that is holding you back. Acknowledge it. It is natural. Fear is the guardian of the status quo. It is trying to keep you safe in the familiar, even if the familiar is making you miserable. But safety is an illusion. The only real safety is in movement, in the flow of the Tao, in the courage to engage with life. What is your single step right now? It isn't signing the contract. It isn't winning the award. It is the phone call you need to make. It is the 5 minutes you spend writing in your journal. It is the decision to put down the phone and look at the sunset. It is the act of forgiving yourself for yesterday's stagnation. Each of these is a point of departure. Each of these is a victory over the entropy of the soul. We often think we need more information, more resources, or more support before we can start. Start. But the secret of the masters is that they started before they were ready. They started with what they had, where they were. They knew that the resources for the second step are often found only after the first step has been taken. The path reveals itself only to those who are moving. There's a profound psychological concept known as the horizon effect. As you move toward the horizon moves. You never actually reach the line where the earth meets the sky, but the act of moving toward it allows you to see things you could never have seen from your starting point. You discover hidden valleys, sparkling streams, and unexpected allies. The journey itself provides the education. You cannot learn to swim by reading a book on the shore. You must taste the salt. You must feel the weight of the water. You must take the step into the deep. In the quiet of your heart, understand that you are already a traveler. You have survived every 1,000 miles that life has thrown at you so far. You have navigated the labyrinths of grief and the deserts of loneliness. You have climbed hills you thought would break you. You are still here. That resilience is your inheritance. But do not let your past accomplishments make you static. The river that stops moving becomes a swamp. The soul that stops reaching becomes a museum. Life is an ongoing invitation to begin again and again and again. Every sunrise is a single step taken by the world itself, a renewal of the promise that light will always follow the dark. Let this be the day you stop negotiating with your potential. Let this be the hour you stop asking for permission to exist in your full glory. The world does not need more people who are waiting for the perfect moment. The world needs people who are willing to be messy, willing to be beginners, and willing to take that one, singular, courageous step into the unknown. You do not need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step, and then the next, and then the one after that. Before you know it, the miles will begin to fall away behind you, and you will look back in wonder at how far you have come. The distance between a dream and reality is not measured in miles, but in the will to begin. We at Power in Words are here to remind you that the fire within you is greater than any obstacle before you. We are here to witness your becoming, to cheer for your single steps, and to honor the 1,000 miles you are destined to walk. You are not alone on this path. Every great soul who ever lived once stood exactly where you are standing, trembling, uncertain, and staring at a vast horizon. They became great because they chose to move. They chose the step. They chose the journey. As the sun sets on the excuses of yesterday, let the dawn of your new life begin with the simplest of movements. Do not overthink it. Do not analyze it into non-existence. Just step. Step with faith. Step with hope. Step with the fierce conviction that you were made for more than standing still. The journey is calling. The road is waiting. The 1,000 miles are ready to be claimed by the rhythm of your heart. True greatness is not found in the destination, but in the courage to begin. If this message has stirred the embers of your spirit and ignited a spark of resolve within you, we invite you to join our community. Please like this video and subscribe to Power in Words to continue this journey with us, ensuring you never miss a source of the energy and inspiration you need to keep moving forward. Together, one step at a time, we will walk the 1,000 miles toward the best versions of ourselves.